those of you that aren't watching this on YouTube, this is not Anthony. This is not Anthony Johnson. We filmed one yesterday with Anthony. It was awesome. But I told my friend Fortunato Lapari, I just call him Nato, that I wanted to talk to him about. It was just the perfect subject because I think you're the only person I know that does not. Well, actually, you know what? There's two reasons. The first reason I want to talk to you is because I'm currently writing the last chapter of Unlocking the Cage, which is my trip to Florida, which you went with me on.
Right.
So I want to talk to you about that a little bit. But then it just so happened, I might have, I don't know if I'd invited you down or whatever, try to set this up. But then I happened to, I decided to get rid of all social media. Not completely, like, because I'm not crazy and suicidal and because of, like, the business part of it. Like, I need to keep that part going. But I took all social media off my phone. Dude, all the time I would be wanting to do something. I want to either I'd be thinking of posting something funny or checking to see who liked my stuff, and I just realized I had all these realizations, and I was like, no, one day I just cut it off. So I was like, oh, you're the perfect person to talk to about that because I don't think I know anyone else. But I don't know, where should we start? Let's start with social media, because now, when did you ever use social media? Like, were you ever on,
Yes,
on
I was on
Facebook or
Facebook.
MySpace? Because you're old. This dude's old. He's as old as me.
Yeah, same age.
Yeah, we've known each other, what, like 20-something years?
Yeah,
Long time.
25 years at least.
Damn, strip club. That's
Back in the days.
A whole nother time period.
Yeah.
But that's why I wanted you for, man, what's up with all these fucking sirens?
Welcome to Whittier.
Yeah, so, dude. In the one we filmed yesterday, there was one that went by. So yeah, I think a lot of people are getting shot around here.
Yeah.
No, actually, I didn't hear the gunshot, so maybe it's just a stabbing or
Slicing.
yeah, someone's in trouble. But anyhow.
So yeah, social media. Me having what I had before, I never had a MySpace. I did have a Facebook account, and having it was because of friends that told me to do it. Pushed into it, got it done, and I just didn't really care for what it put out, the messages it was putting out. Meaning, like, everybody knows everybody's business, and everybody lives in a fictitious world.
You're putting up your best pictures. You're putting up like, oh, this is my life.
Yeah, and in the background, it's all jacked up. The house is all wrecked. I mean, there's a lot of it's crazy how they portray themselves in one aspect, and then the other aspect it's completely different. So
now, but did you enjoy going on at all and just seeing like what people were up to, or seeing pictures of their kids or anything like that, or did you or even for like opinions on like news stories or anything, like were you ever, like, did you find yourself spending time on it?
Well, yes and no. Yes, at first because it was so new to me, and I wasn't on MySpace, so this was something completely different. And to see all the old friends that I went to high school, and then just talking to them, I was like, wow, this is interesting to see these people, and man, they all have kids, and I kind of put my life to where I'm at with compared to them, how they got married and life goes on, and here I am, just choose to. What bottom line? Yes, I did like it. I did enjoy it at a time, but after a while, it made no sense as to why, I was trying to become in the social media group. I didn't talk to them before in high school. Why am I going to talk to you now? There's a reason for everything. But hey,
if it wasn't for social media, then I wouldn't have, like, I don't know what my following would be as far as like my books and stuff. I mean, I've used that for all my marketing, and I don't use it effectively, but that has definitely been the biggest thing, and that's where I've had connections with fans, and that's where I got like a group of fans now that they'll read my work first, they'll critique it, they help out. But I made the mistake of thinking that that's the only way I was going to have success, and I started putting too much time, and then it just started consuming me. But I was telling you that you should do it for your business, because you have Little Bambino's awesome pizza, and are they both in Riverside?
No, they're in actually Moreno Valley, California.
Okay. If you guys are around there, check it out. It's awesome pizza.
Yeah, takeout, really good pricing.
Yeah.
Delicious.
But I thought you could use. I was like, yeah, you should definitely do advertising on Facebook or whatever. I was like, that's a great way to bring a business. And then, but you just were didn't seem like
No.
you needed to, and you've kind of proven that, like, yeah, you don't need it because you're pretty much at capacity, right? I mean,
Right. It's. I mean, I can't. People wait about an hour and a half for a pie.
Yeah.
You're waiting, but the food is good, so they are going to come in and wait that.
But dude, my problem was just the dependence, man. Like if I had my phone on me, then I'm gonna be checking it, and I'm someone that's a hypocrite because this is something I hate. I hate people that are just connected to their phones and that's all they're doing. And dude,
Yeah, you see that at a lot of dinners.
Dude, you see that everywhere. Anywhere you go, dude.
Crazy.
Everyone, the kids, the parents, whether even just couples.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just see one couple, like one person in the couple, like. And it's like, oh man, like that sucks. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, and I've been doing that,
Mhm.
dude. I'm watching the kids. I'm bored, dude. I could only hang with a 3-year-old for so long. Like, I get.
Yeah,
If I
of
have
course.
if I have my phone on me, like, of course I want to see who's like doing what, or I want to see if there's a cool new jiu-jitsu video I could watch, or whatever. Like, I try not to do that much, and then if I'm on my own, dude, if I got writer's block or I just want to kill some time, I'll look at my phone, and the next thing I know, I'm like, oh shit, I just wasted like a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm that bad, but it was still bad enough. And but you rationalize it, and you're like, oh well, everyone else does it, and blah blah blah. But when it hit me was, did I tell you about the trip I'm going to go on with Olivia?
To North Dakota.
South
South
Dakota.
Dakota,
Yeah,
sorry.
South Dakota. Dude, I'm excited about it
That's gonna be
because
hot. That's really
originally
cool.
this trip was planned like, well, the idea of it was last year. I said 2016 was going to be awesome, dude. I said one of the things was I was going to go on a lot of book festivals and all that, and South Dakota was going to be one. And because I wanted to meet my friend Don Ty, the guy who read the narrator of
Oh.
Every Precious Second.
Yeah, I like that
And,
one. I like how he did it. It was really
Yeah, he's just
really cool.
really.
Had a good, like, he felt it. When he was reading, I was like, whoa.
Mhm.
And the way he sounded and his voice, and it's sold, on top
Yeah.
of your writing. But the way you put a good piece, and it to that guy.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I wouldn't have put out that story if it wasn't for him. Like, I sent it to him. He was the only person that had read it besides my editor. Had been sitting there for years, and he's like, yeah, he's like, you don't know this, but he's like, you wrote this for me, even though you didn't know me back then. So that was cool. So originally I was gonna go do a book festival there. I was gonna take the whole family. Figured my daughter would like it. And then, dude, because I'm not good at planning, I didn't get a booth in time, and so the book festival kind of fell through. But I was like, you know what? I still want to go. I still want to meet him. This will be fun. I was like, how about just Olivia and I go? And originally, Jen thought that wouldn't be fun for Olivia, especially if I'm doing a book festival. I was like, no. I was like, this trip is just going to be all about her. I was like, we're just going to do stuff that she likes. I was like, and one of the things I thought of was, and I told Olivia, I was like, look, I was like, this entire trip is you. I said, you bring your books, and when you want to read or do something on your own, you do that. I was like, and I'll bring like a paper copy of Unlocking that I'll just edit or whatever. I was like, but I'm not going to bring my computer. And then I was thinking about my phone. And originally, when I was thinking about all the stuff we're going to be doing, like zip lining and
Fun.
all this other stuff, my first thought was like, oh, well, I want to take pictures. I was like, but if I'm going to take pictures, I'm going to want to post them too. And I was like, fuck that. You know what? I was like, no. And so I told her, dude, I was like, I'm not going to.
Well, take pictures for memories, but not just.
Well, I'll take pictures. I was like, no, fuck pictures too. No. Dude, no snorting.
Sorry, that's from my girl.
That was the
contagious.
That was the alpha brain. No, the yerba mate. Dude, I just wrote to them. Guayaki. I was like, hey, sponsor me. I drink your stuff every day.
That's good. And
yeah,
I've always liked it.
Dude, I love them. I try to brew it myself though, so I don't get as much sugar.
No,
but
too much sugar.
I know, but they're dope. But back to our story. Where were we? So this trip. So I told her, no, I was like, this trip is going to be all about you. I'm not going to be looking at my phone. And then, so I'm telling her all this. I was like, well, why don't I do that shit now? Like, I understand. I realize I'm neglecting my kids a little bit. Or even, dude, even if it's just they asked you a question, but you're looking at your phone and you don't really answer. I mean, or whatever. They could be doing anything. And if you're looking at your phone, it's like your phone, whatever's on your phone is more important than they are. If it's work, it's one thing. Jen has to do a lot of work, like emails, all that stuff.
Yeah, she has
Dude,
to.
I don't.
It's actually beneficial for her because she has it in her hand. She can move around.
Yeah,
If not, she'd be locked in her office.
Yeah. And so the kids understand that. But dude, if you're talking to someone and they're scrolling through Facebook,
Yeah,
it's like, oh,
yeah,
it's like you don't give one shit about me.
yeah.
So,
It's not cool.
and the other reason, dude, and so it was hard at first, man. Like that first day, the second day, I totally kept looking at my phone. I'd pick it up to see, because
It's
I want to check.
crazy.
And
What
I
a
was like,
creature of habits we are, huh?
yeah. And dude, since I broke it, it's awesome. Because another thing, one of the awesome things too is, I'm no longer picking up on all that negative bullshit, dude. I
Yeah.
was getting so pissed off because I would see posts by, even if it wasn't even someone I knew, there might be posts that upset me, especially with all the politics. But if it's someone that I know, I'm like, oh my god, you're a fucking idiot. And I shouldn't judge people that way. My opinion is no better than theirs. I get all that, but I'm saying that's still the reaction. I think everyone could relate to that reaction. Uh, but so I didn't want to see that anymore, and because I would find myself sharing stuff too, and I was like, no, I'll stay back. I won't take in all that stuff. I'll still check occasionally on my computer too. Like I'll
Yeah.
post on different times. But no, man, I'm not gonna be connected to it anymore,
Yeah.
and I'm done with it. Like that's cool. I was like, I've been tempted to go back because I was like, well, I could increase my Instagram followers. I was like, nah, I'll either hire someone or I'll do what I can on my computer,
Yeah.
and that's it. So, but yeah, I was like, you're probably the only other dude that can understand that. So
Yeah, and I mean, and I get it because it does. It's overwhelming, and plus on top of that, when people start sending a side of the social media of the networks like that, then you have the texting, which the texting is a little bit better in communication wise. I do it to you because instead of me calling you every single second, you're busy.
Right.
You can grab the phone and go, yeah, it's okay, boom, and put it down and walk away and back and forth. But that's a conversation. But some of these, that's not a conversation. That's just a casual notice of what we're doing back and forth. Okay, I'm going to come over. Okay, what
Right.
time you're putting Jake? Okay, cool. So at least we're in the same page. But then some people take it to that next level, which is the more of the attacking people. When they attack people, it's more of a how could you say, you don't see their face, you can't judge them, so you don't know whether to take it as a joke.
Oh, right.
Misinterpretation on something like
Yeah.
that is crazy, and it's sad because you don't mean it, and then a whole
Yeah.
can of worms are open.
Yeah. No,
So-
you could definitely people could take things the wrong way all the time like that.
So pick up the phone, people. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Although don't call me, I don't want to talk to
I
anyone.
know you
That's
get you can only last for no more than 15 minutes. If you
Yeah.
talk any longer with Mark than 15 minutes, he gets agitated. He'll start yawning.
Yeah. I know. I try to come off as such a nice guy, but I guess you pointed out that I can be kind of rude. Well, dude, and I explained to someone recently. I was like, man, you know what? I'm with the kids all day or whatever else. I was like, but all day long, like my brain's going I'm trying to think of stuff. I'm having conversations in my head. I'm just waiting for the time to actually write it down, and so I'm trying to figure stuff out. And then I don't know, I don't know. I mean, I'm just a grumpy old fuck. I was talking about that earlier. But the other reason I wanted to talk to you was Unlocking the Cage, last chapter going to Florida. Because I just watched Ricardo's interview before I competed.
Yeah.
And, dude, and listening to that was pretty awesome. I mean, it just worked out that way, too. Like, I only have one interview left, and that's Steve Montgomery. You were just asking about him.
Yeah.
We hung out with Steve in Florida.
apartment, yeah.
Awesome dude.
Really cool.
Awesome
Yeah.
girlfriend who's now his
Yeah.
fiance, Amanda, I believe.
Congrats.
But he's fighting October 1st, I think. I think his fight just got postponed. It's in South Carolina. Yeah, I would love to go, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. But yeah, awesome dude. So he's the only interview I have left to actually watch, and then after I watch all the interviews, that's when I write it. But I was watching Ricardo's the night before I competed, and he was talking about why I wasn't good as a fighter, and he had said one of the things was I was just too nice, and
Yeah.
so I kind of wanted to get your feel before we even get to Florida. What was your thoughts on me fighting and who I was back then and why you think I probably wasn't successful?
Back then, more of it was got to be from your past and trying to come into something new in your life.
So I was a pretty angry dude, but like Ricardo was saying, I was also a nice guy, and like most people thought I was probably a nice guy. They didn't know how much I disliked myself, and I don't know. I think that's, and I realized this the other day too, dude. I've always had like really, really bad social anxiety.
Yeah, I remember that. You used to be in the corner. You wouldn't want to talk to nobody.
Oh yeah.
I used to mess with you. Remember on the mics and be like, hey, go get the group of people. You're like, no, dude, no.
Yeah.
All these people coming up to you, no, dude, get them away.
Well, part of that I think was I was high on.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, so that was part of that. I was very paranoid. But no, I always had bad social anxiety. And dude, that all goes back to low self-esteem too, man. Because I realized, because one, I think that's what it is. I think it's not thinking of yourself as the equal of everyone else in the room, probably, or like there's something wrong with you or whatever else, or you're not as good as these people. And I think that might be what it comes down to.
Or you're far superior than most people, and you don't want to.
I do think that too sometimes.
Yeah,
but no, because I'm judgmental like that, dude. I was trying to say that the other day. I was trying to convince myself of that, and then that thought came to me. I was like, well, that's kind of bullshit, because there have been times where if it's a one-on-one, like, I'm better than this guy. I tried to check myself on that all the time, because I'm like, okay, it's like, well, maybe I'm smarter than that guy, book smart, or maybe I have this, or maybe I have that. But it's like, who knows what that guy's way better at than I am, and maybe just a better person.
Right.
Not so judgmental. But yeah, I think it's trying to catch ourselves. I think we all do that. But we just try to catch ourselves as much as possible.
But even for you, as much as you...
He's in there?
He's laying on the side right
now. Okay, cool.
Even for you, as much as you have changed in becoming who you were, because you weren't even... You were, correct me if I'm wrong, but you weren't writing then, right? Not when you were a bouncer. You were kind of, because I remember going to your desk over at your not your desk, at your office when you were working at that private security, and you used to be writing and you were coming up with ideas.
No. I was definitely writing at that point. I was doing like short stories.
But nothing was published.
Yeah, I don't remember what my first published story was. Because this is like, what, 95?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
No, like 98, I think. I think 98 is when I started trying to fight in box, or 99 was when I did that. So, yeah, no, it was a while ago. So, yeah, it's hard to remember, man. And that's the thing. I was trying to remember, okay, who was I at that point? But, yeah, that was after Brown. That was after... Dude, I had a bad motorcycle accident where after graduation, that screwed me up for a while. I was just a pissed off dude, I think.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to hear from you is what you thought about the trip. Because I don't know if you had watched any interviews I'd done or had you gone to any gyms with me prior to Florida?
Gyms, other than no. Well, the only thing I did with you before you got into the mixed martial arts was when I was coaching you sometimes on the side of your corner when you were boxing.
Oh yeah.
Remember when you worked with the last one I did with you was at Caesar's Palace, and you're loose cannon back then, but.
Dude, yeah, no, and that's what's crazy is like I'm still kind of a loose cannon in a way, like as far as recklessness, and I'm dialing all that back now because I'm realizing I need to. But yeah, a lot of it too was like I didn't care about fighting because whatever. If you got a death wish, what do you care about getting in a ring or a cage or whatever?
True.
But one thing Ricardo said that kind of surprised me was he said that he never saw me angry, like ever. He never saw me mad, like not before a fight, not after a fight, not about the results, not in training. Like he's like, I never saw you mad.
Do you find that interesting from him saying that because of the fact that you were a fighter?
Well, yeah, and I had so much rage built up.
Right.
And so that's what's strange, you know. It's like,
but you don't know how to release it. That's your problem.
Yeah, and that's.
But if you do,
yeah,
you can unleash.
Yeah.
Well, I still remember the time that we went to this old cowboy spot down in.
Oh, you were there?
I was when we got in that huge fight. Someone was messing around with Steve, and out of nowhere, and then just boom, and then here we go, Royal Rumble, and then we were out. Next thing we know, we're out of there.
So I'm just realizing that too, is like how much trouble I have showing emotion, and this is something I've dealt with for a long time, dude. With if I write it down, I could do it. Like so, love letters or cards like that, and so like with all relationships, that's how it is. Like I just had a hard time expressing myself. But looking back at like where I came from and the whole German side of my family, and man, it's just been bad. Like these people don't show emotion.
It's and you come from an old era. We both do.
Yeah.
You know, we're both the same age, but we come from an old era. My parents came from Italy, And the way we always brought up is nothing compared to what Americans.
Yeah. No, you're not a man if you show emotion or
No.
anything like that. So I don't know. I think that's one of the cool things about the podcast. I was like, okay, if I could show vulnerabilities or whatever else, whether it's in other fighters or it's in myself or my friends that are on. So what makes you a little bitch? No. Sorry, that's totally uncalled for. Well, that's good. I had to ask because I don't know. So yeah. Tell all of our listeners like what's wrong with you, man? What makes you curl up at night and cry? Holy shit!
So we were
this
talking
is the
about
most stressful
podcast
ever. Yeah. Don't ever try to do this. My daughter is awesome. Olivia's awesome. She's trying to do a good job with Jake. But man. And it's all because Jen's out training, which is awesome. I'm happy, dude. That we're all we're gonna compete as a family.
That's awesome.
In November. So
she looks great, dude.
Yeah.
She's gotten a lot
Stop
healthier.
checking out my wife.
Oh, sorry.
No, I appreciate it.
She's gotten healthier. She looks more alive. Her face, everything. I mean, every time I've seen her transition from what she's been going through till now, from having babies to where she's at.
Yeah.
And she seems in good spirit and more confident. Before I'm not saying she wasn't confident, but you can see a different glow about her now that she's doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and dude, she's happy. It makes her happy. Like she loves it. Her brain's always working. We were drilling the other night, and it's actually cool. And I told her, like, with this whole social media thing, going back to that, I was like, okay, I want to increase the positive stuff in our life and get rid of the negatives. So social media for me is a huge negative. I'm getting rid of it. I was like, so now let's increase the positive. One of the things that's a positive is training. She wants to get really good. She wants to start competing. I was like, okay, well, I'll help you and you'll help me. And I was like, no, I want to go after this thing. I was telling someone earlier, like, I don't know if it's realistic or not, but I want to go for my brown like in a year. Like, I'm gonna attack it. I was like, I'm actually going to apply myself and start to study and drill and
I gotta get back into this.
See. Yeah, man, it's fun. So I was like, let's do that. Everyone's enjoying it right now. Jake's starting to go back to classes. He just went on yesterday, and he did the whole class. He's pumped about it, and he came home and he wanted to show his arm bar and his choke, his rear naked. So I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
He's I see what it gives people.
He'll be one of those state champions by the time he gets in his junior high school years, because he's so good at a young age. Because you're starting him off young.
Yeah.
Most places, they go up at 5 and up.
Yeah,
that's usually when you start getting him into that bending and moving.
Yeah, John has a great program.
Yeah, he
Tiny
is.
Twisters, 3 to 5, like around that. But it's awesome. It's just playing. It's just getting them around it, and they're learning a little bit. And it's body awareness and all that. So it's cool, dude. I don't think the major changes in my life really started happening until I started working on unlocking the cage. As far as being like more peaceful and going that direction, understanding myself more, because I had to. It forced me to look at myself, because I went back to Brown that was my first trip to try to remember who I was back in college right before I started fighting. And then I had to talk with old friends, and this, and going back and training and dude, just getting beat by everybody and being humbled and realizing I wasn't shit and just getting my ego completely crushed. And then also forcing myself to go out and talk to people when I'm an introvert. And dude, so not only do I have to, like, I'm showing up unannounced and just saying, yeah, I'm writing a book, and so
even the
all those things, man, all those things were difficult when outside my comfort zone. But I think that's what caused it. So it's martial arts, man, more than anything. I think it's family's awesome, and that having the kids help me. But dude, everyone has kids, and it doesn't necessarily change them. Might change them a little bit. And I'm not trying to say I'm perfect. No way, dude. I still got so many problems. I'm not wishing myself on anyone else. But I know I've improved so much. I've understand myself a lot more because I've taken a look. And it's because of martial arts, and it's because of jiu-jitsu. And man, that's why I'm all about it now. It's like, do something that, it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu, it doesn't have to be a martial art or a sport, but do something that makes you uncomfortable, that where you have to actually test yourself, push yourself, and where it's all on you. Like, dude, if you're in a match, if you're rolling and the person's just laying on you, and it's like, that's gonna happen for 5 minutes. It's gonna be awful until you do something. I don't know, man. I think we covered a lot of stuff tonight. I gotta put the kids to sleep. I gotta put Jake to sleep. I feel bad. I haven't been a good dad tonight. But I'll make up for it tomorrow. Well, I'll take him to Pumper Jumpers, this little indoor playground, and he'll love it. After we get adjusted, dude, I had 2 adjustments on Monday because I couldn't turn my neck. Now I feel awesome. If you don't go to a chiropractor, find one. Find a good one because.
What do you do? Do you go look under reviews when you do that? How do you find one?
I ask my friends, or I'll ask my brother, Steve, Dr. Steve Tullius, San Diego. He's
Very
awesome,
well.
man.
Dr.
What
Steve
he's
Tullius.
doing
Yes.
is amazing. But he contact me. I'll refer you to someone because chiropractic's amazing, especially for kids. But
it's like sitting like like he said. I heard one of the podcasts that you guys had before with you and Steve, and what he was saying about. It's a reset button.
Yeah,
it's true. And then you do yoga on top of that.
Yeah,
it's easier for him to work on you because you're looser than most average human.
Man, I just think about it as okay, if you got a hose that's kinked, you're not gonna get all your water out.
Yep.
Dude, if there's any kind of blockage, and there is, you don't need to have an accident. We all have so much stress on our that causes all these problems. But that's a whole nother thing, and I don't know how we got there, but. We're trying to wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
And we wrap it up every week with a chapter from Brightside. This is chapter 18, man. I think it's a short one. Things are ramping up. There's only 19 chapters in the book.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? I dig how you do this. This is a real treat for a lot of people that have never experienced not just the podcast, but audiobooks. And
dude,
I love it.
Oh, do you?
You know what I do? I listen to all the podcasts, and then I save the audio, the parts that you did, so I can hear them consistently.
Oh, that's cool.
And I can hear them, so I can go boom to the next one, to the next one, to the next one.
You cheap fucker! I told you could buy this shit on Audible for $2.99. You don't have to have any fucking commercials. Jesus Christ! And for those of you that can't see me because we're not filming, I'm whispering into it, Mike, really close because my kids are near.
He's really sucking on the mic.
Yeah, because I'm cool like that.
No. But I haven't even got. But that's part of social media, so I don't get into it.
Okay, yeah. If you're on social media, or I think I mention all the time, it's like $2.99 if you buy the ebook, which is cheap.
So would you have to download an app for that? The ebook?
No, dude, you go.
I don't know.
I don't read them. But
I don't do nothing on the internet.
You can get on your phone. Just go on iTunes or go on Amazon, and there's an app for that. There's an app for everything. Dude, I'm designing my Brightside app finally. My friend Michael Coker, he's helping me design it. I had the lines recorded forever, so I don't want to give away too much, but it's gonna be dope. So yeah, man, everyone do, and that's what I'm loving, man. I think Brightside's up to 95 reviews.
That's awesome, dude.
It's about to hit 100 reviews. People either love it or they hate it, and there aren't too many haters. So I was like, I'm cool with that. I don't want that middle ground. One of my wife's friends read it recently and said she read it in it one day. I get that a lot, and she's a librarian. She's like, oh my god, this is amazing.
She read it in one day?
Yeah, dude. I've had a lot of people say it took one day. Anthony took him 3 or 4 months, but that was also awesome because he never reads, and he would just read it just slowly, but he would read one chapter at a time, and he'd be so excited, and then he'd have all these questions about it.
Yeah,
so
you know
cool,
what? And the crazy thing is I've known you for such a long time, and I haven't read him.
Oh, you son of a...
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, at least I can be honest.
Okay, at least I know I don't have to give you anymore.
No, I do.
That's cool.
I cherish every book that you gave me. Don't give me that crap, dude. I cherish every book. I have them all put away. They're all clean. I'm a weirdo because I don't like my pages to get wrinkled. And let's just say Mark Tullius becomes the biggest Stephen King guy, and all of a sudden all these books and mine hasn't have a wrinkle.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, but this is fun, man. We gotta do this more often.
Yeah.
But so I guess chapter 18, man. Let's put the kids to bed.
Yep.
Separately. You could go home first.
Thank you very much for letting me come by and do this.
We're not all cuddling, even if Jake wants it. Yesterday he wanted a family hug with. Normally a family hug is just Jen, Olivia, myself, and him. But yesterday, Anthony and Janine were kicking it with us outside, and he asked them for a big family hug with everybody. Yeah,
he's got a big heart, that kid.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's a really sweet kid.
Yeah.
They
a lot of love for that kid. He's a different individual.
I'm trying my best to not screw him up.
I think you did a good job on both of them. I mean, they're healthy. They're happy. Look at them. They're just smiling. I mean, regardless if they are tired.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very true.
All right, man.
All right. Well,
thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. It's always fun talking. And yeah.
I'll do it again soon.
Next week is chapter 19. That's going to be the final one. But today is chapter 18. T. Quillen. I got chapters 1 through 3 on my website, marktullius.com. Also, links to everything else. Twisted Reunion, which is doing awesome right now still in horror. I think I don't know what it is, but it's still in the top 100 for short stories, or top 30. But yeah, so check it out and enjoy.
Yeah, right. Stay sexy.
Oh yeah, super sexy. Later.
Chapter 18. The smell of burning metal, leather, and flesh. Everyone is circled around the wreckage so I can't see the pilot or the gunner, just the one single blade rising toward the purpling sky. The sun is starting to creep under the horizon. I move through the crowd. Some people weep. Others just stare in shock. Harry, the hermit neighbor with his little toupee, is barking out instructions in his thick Boston accent, telling Brightsiders to take off their coats and carry them across the street. They lay them flat on the ground, start scooping handfuls of snow, piling them right on the coats. 2 people, one on each end, lift each coat like a hammock and shuffle back, flinging mounds of snow onto the flames. I don't know what I expected, but definitely not this. They're trying to put out the fire because of the pilot, who's still moving. His charred, blistered hand reaching out through the broken glass and twisted metal. The prisoners desperately trying to save their captor. Stockholm Syndrome is the first thought in my head, but these people genuinely want to help. They're praying they'll get to him before it's too late. They're good and decent. They don't want the man to die. They just see a crisis and want to do what's right. The government calls them thought thieves. But these people are definitely not terrorists. Unlike me. My stomach's climbing up my throat, and I try to escape the smoke but can't. The wind swirls it, covering me no matter which way I move. I bump into a woman and feel the shotgun almost slip out of my jacket. I tell her I'm sorry and keep my hand on the butt of the gun. More boots are arriving, but no one notices me. The pilot is all that matters. The pilot I shot down. Everything is telling me to run, but I keep it slow and steady. I can't draw attention. That I know. I'm not even watching where I'm going. I'm just moving down the street, and I can't stop picturing the pilot's hand. The desperate, pathetic reach. Each black finger pleading for help. I've never actively taken a life. Rachel died because of what I couldn't say. Lily because I stayed in one place too long. Let the boots close in. I stopped being Stephen's friend, but I didn't give him cancer. And Robert just heard my thoughts, but Wayne was the man who strung him up. The gunner, the pilot. This is completely on me. I aimed the gun. I pulled the trigger. Sharon's voice is echoing my father's. You're going to do great things, Joe. So fucking great. I actually thought I was doing the right thing. The boots were evil. They needed to be put down. But if that's the case, then why do I feel like shit? I don't even realize I'm near the pond, but Sarah's calling my name. She comes out running from behind some trees. Oh, thank God. I didn't think you were going to show. I didn't know if something... Sorry. Are you all right? Yeah. Holy shit. I can't believe you did it. Sarah keeps looking past me, staring at something in the distance. I can't look back. Sarah smiles. Well, we both made it. How'd you get away from the boots? They were searching a building near the square, questioning people, seeing if anyone knew anything. I just ran up and told them someone spotted Wayne in the office. There were only a few of them, and they took off running. Called it in, I guess. I just walked away." Sarah laughs, still freaked out. "So you saw it? The helicopter?" She nods. "You sure you're okay?" I picture the crash, the explosion. I only had one shot, and they're still trying to get him out from... He's trapped. I see the pilot's hand reaching. "Joe, you didn't have a choice." I finally look back and see the huge cloud of black smoke. It's still rising. I hear the sirens. The ambulance must have arrived. They're going to have to cut through the metal. "Joe, come on. We have to hurry." But I'm moving back toward the wreckage. Sarah yanks my arm. "What are you doing?" She spins me a little. "Joe, hey, listen to me." She grabs my face. "We have to get to Danny." Even with her holding my face, I can't stop looking at the black smoke rising up from the carnage, the flesh. "Joe, come on." She's pulling me, but I'm fighting it. She says, "Danny needs us. He needs you, Joe. He's your friend, remember?" It's like I've just been slapped awake. "Right. Yeah. Sorry." I start for the woods, holding tight to the image of Danny, of Wayne. I tell myself not to look back, just get to the cave. The sun's halfway under the horizon. Streaks of red splash across the sky and dissolve into the darkness of night. I can hardly see, and am unsure which way to go. "Joe, what are you doing? Why are you stopping?" I can't remember. I look left, and it seems kind of familiar, but so does the right. It's all just trees and snow, and I have no fucking clue. "Joe," she shakes me. "Relax, okay?" I'm trying, but she's still shaking me. Finally, she stops. "Just clear your head and think. Which way is the mine?" I close my eyes. Try to remember the first time I found it. The huge tree crashing down, uncovering the entrance. I picture the rusted metal tracks. "Hey, come on. Focus. Where were you before the mine?" Sarah asks. She's pissed and needs me to get this. I remember I just got off the phone with Mom. She said my father had turned me in, and I started running. Lost one of my shoes in the snow. "What else?" It takes me a second. Then, suddenly, it's clear. I went to the tree. The one where I'd carved Michelle and Rachel's names, which later I scratched out because I can't stop hurting every woman I meet. Sarah doesn't have time for my bullshit, but it reminds me I'm not too far from their names. I take off running, and the shotgun starts to slide out of my jacket. I pull it out, carry it in one hand. The snow is halfway up our shins, but we keep plodding. Even when Sarah gets stuck, I grab her hand and pull. 20 more yards, the carving just visible. We just need to angle right, then head up the hill. The fallen tree is at the bottom, wedged against a few towering pines. "It's up here," I say, and help Sarah keep her balance up the rocky, snow-covered slope. The cave is still covered by rocks, completely untouched. But there's no one here. Sharon and the others should be waiting. That was the plan. I walk around the cave, looking into the woods. The gunmetal is freezing on my bare hand, so I set it against the rocks and keep looking around. Sharon and the others must have seen the helicopter crash, or at least heard it. I start to wonder if they've already escaped, but they couldn't have put back the rocks. They're covered with too much snow. I tell Sarah it doesn't make any sense. Sarah's not paying attention. She's looking at the trees, turning around in circles, anxious and panicked. I know she's not talking about Sharon when she asks, "Where are they?" I tell her to be quiet. There's something coming from far away. It sounds like gunshots, but it's too faint to be sure. A voice rings out. Sarah? Danny? Sarah turns around and calls his name again, but there's no answer. Seconds tick by, and I start thinking I'm going insane. Then Wayne, with a knife to Danny's throat, comes walking out of the trees. Wayne's eyes dart around the forest. He sees we're alone. Danny's pencil is gone. Fist empty, his thumb rubbing up and down his knuckle. His eyes are filled with tears and ready to burst and stream. Let him go, Sarah says. Wayne just brings the knife closer to Danny's neck. They're in the shadows, so it's too dark to see. But Danny's gasp says the blade's piercing skin. Stop it! You're hurting him! Wayne's jaw clenches under that nasty beard. His eyes gleaming at me. Shut her fucking mouth or I'll take the retard's head. Sarah starts for Wayne, but I pull her back, tell her to stay calm. Wayne, I say, now, we had a deal. Oh, I'm aware. And I did my part. So let Danny go. Wayne sticks out his neck, swivels it left, then right. I don't see the rest of the party. I don't know where they're at. Then you broke the deal. You said I had to take out the helicopter. No, that Zen cunt told you you had to do that. I said you had to convince her to let me tag along. I don't know where she is. Then you didn't live up to your part of the bargain. Wayne takes a fistful of Danny's hair and snaps back his head, the knife pressing hard against Danny's throat. Please, Sarah says, please don't. Wayne, you don't need to do this. I'm trying to keep my voice steady. We don't even need Sharon. We can go on our own. Wayne clicks his tongue. Yeah. I don't like that idea. Unless you got a car waiting. There's no point in lying. Not with Wayne. So I tell him I don't. But I remind him we're out of options. The helicopter's down, but another one could be here any minute. So unless he wants to head back and turn himself in, we need to go now. Wayne mulls it over. I know he is going to slit Danny's throat no matter what, so I keep my eyes locked on his. I don't even blink. You kill him, I say, and I'm not lifting a fucking stone. There's no way you'll get down by yourself. Wayne laughs. Mama's boy wants to be a man. Wayne turns towards Sarah, the tip of his tongue sliding over his lips. Maybe I'll just stick here. Enjoy your lady. I blow out Wayne's sick fantasy. We're running out of time. We can do this quicker with Danny. Wayne seems disappointed. He lets Danny go with a shove. Danny runs into Sarah's arms. She squeezes him with everything she's got, pats his hair, asks if he's all right. Danny gulps and nods. She checks his neck. It's bleeding, but not bad. Well, let's get to work, Wayne says. I look to Sarah and tell her to go on. Let her know this is our only play. Danny moves to the cave and starts pulling away rocks. Sarah and I help while Wayne wipes the bloody knife on his shirt. I drop a rock and look at Wayne, ask him if he's just going to stand there. Wayne slides the knife in his belt and lifts a huge stone. I can tell it's hurting his back, but he turns and chucks it to the ground. Sarah tries to lift a big one too, but can't. She starts to move a smaller rock, but I tell Danny to help his sister. He's got a small stick in his fist, but works around it. Grabs one end of the rock, and they pry it out, both of them stepping sideways a few feet. Wayne's staring at me. I just lift another huge rock, focus my thoughts on the weight. I drop it as Sarah and Danny drop theirs. Then, I see my opportunity. Sarah and Danny are out of the way. I run and grab the shotgun. but before I can even take aim, Wayne says, "Now, Joe, why do you have to go and complicate things?" Still, I point the hollow end right at his face and wedge myself between Wayne and Danny. Wayne's cocking his head, sizing me up. He says, "Mama didn't raise a killer." Fuck you, Wayne. I already broke my cherry. I'm trying to sound tough, but Wayne's inside my head. He rubs his beard. "But you didn't like the taste, did you?" Wayne narrows his eyes. He's burrowing around inside me. "How'd you do it, Joe? How'd you take down that chopper?" I'm trying to hum, to block it all out. "You looked those men in the eye, like your daddy told you, hmm?" A grin spreads over Wayne's face. "Or did you wait until they were down below and shoot them in the back?" I can't get the pilot out of my head fast enough. I'm humming as loud as I can, and Wayne's still grinning. I tell him to back up, but he just keeps coming. Not even moving his hands, just presses his chest against the barrel. Wayne's breath pours over my face, and I jab him with the gun to push him back, but Wayne leans in, so I'm practically holding him up, the hollow end digging into his ribs. "I'm right here, Joe. What's it gonna be? You a coward or a man?" I hear my father's voice telling me to stop being such a goddamn baby, and Wayne laughing. My finger's on the trigger. I can feel it fine under my skin, but Wayne keeps leaning, his eyes wide and psychotic. I just can't squeeze. Wayne grabs the barrel, shoves it away from his chest. I'm holding the butt of the gun, both of us yanking, pulling, grunting. Then Wayne gets his other hand on the gun and slams me back into the rocks, knocking everything out of me. He's using both hands, one on each end of the shotgun, forcing it against my throat. I push back on the barrel, and Wayne pulls me away from the rocks and then crushes me back against them, my head smacking, nearly splitting. My legs give out, but he's holding me up with the Mossberg on my neck, cutting off air. I close my eyes and try to kick, but Wayne throws out a knee and blocks it. "Look at me, Joe. This is how you do it. You look 'em right in the eye." Danny's roar only lasts a second, but it's enough to get Wayne to turn. Just in time to see Danny's hands coming at him. The stick punches through Wayne's cheek, Danny's fingers digging into Wayne's eyes. They spin. The Mossberg flies out of Wayne's grasp and cracks against a rock. I'm on all fours, sucking air. Wayne and Danny are pulling and pushing and punching, a snarling violence that collapses to the ground. Probably close enough to touch, but I can't lift my head to know for sure. Wayne's laugh almost covers the sliding of metal on leather. Sarah screams. I look up and see Wayne holding the knife high above his head, ready to drive it through Danny's chest. I look for the gun, but I can't find it. It's somewhere buried in the snow. So I dive into Wayne. We start tumbling, rolling down the hill. This sharp pain carves into my side, but I can't tell if it's the knife or just a rock. Finally, we stop rolling, and Wayne crawls on top of me, a jagged hole in his cheek. Spit falls from his lips onto mine. He wipes the snow from his hair, sniffs, sucking up blood and snot. He flips the knife around in his hand so he can get a better grip. "Please," I hear my voice squeak. Wayne's thinking about how good it's going to feel to slice through me, the cartilage and fibers shredding and spraying blood like warm rain. Then comes the crack, and I see the hole in Wayne's head, all dark and hollow. It's about the size of a dime. Wayne's eyes are focused on something behind me until there's no focus at all. He falls to his side, his face half swallowed by the snow, which dissolves and turns crimson. I force off his legs and expect to see Danny or Sarah with the shotgun. Instead, I see Sheriff Melvin, Sharon, and about 40 other people. Melvin is holding a revolver. His uniform is covered in blood. Same goes for half a dozen of the Brightsiders. They look like they've been through a war, bruised and broken, their bodies still carrying fragments of lead. Melvin stands over me and asks, "Can you get up?" "Yeah." "Good, because I ain't carrying your ass." I get up to my knees and feel the pain shooting down my side. My jacket is torn, and I unzip it, peer in, and see the blood. My fingers feel around the wound, and it's not very deep. The jacket took most of the damage. Danny and Sarah run over and help me to my feet. Sarah asks if I'm okay, and I tell her I'm fine. Danny keeps apologizing for not stopping Wayne. "It's okay, Danny," I say. "You saved my life." That simple joy returns to Danny's eyes. "I did good?" "Yeah, real good." We walk back to the cave where the Brightsiders are ripping down the rest of the rocks. Sharon gets in my face. "Who knows about this place?" "No one. Just Sarah and Danny." Sharon looks at Wayne's lifeless body. I say, "And him too." Sharon doesn't find it funny. Apparently, her little club has a leak. The Boots found out about the escape. There was gunfire in the square. A few people died. "Joe, I need you to think about this real hard," Sharon says. "Is there anyone else that's not here who knows about the cave?" Rachel knew, but she's dead. Same went for Robert. I didn't tell another soul. "Did anyone see you on the roof?" "A couple of people, but no one could have known about this place. They were down on the sidewalk. They only saw me fire the shot." "What about afterwards?" I picture the stairs, the office, the elevator, that big paw waving me into the bathroom. Sharon's face squinches up. "Wendell?" "Yeah, but I didn't tell him anything he already knew. He heard it from someone else. But he didn't tell anyone. At least not after he saw me." "And how do you know that?" "Because he's dead." "Still, he heard it from someone. Who?" "I don't know, Sharon. It could be anyone. I mean, this operation isn't exactly a well-oiled machine." Sharon glares at me, then walks over to the cave. "All right, everyone, listen up. We've got 10 minutes to get off this mountain, or else our ride is gone, so let's move." Sharon's chosen ones keep hurling rocks. A few have torches, which they douse with gasoline. Carlos and some guy who works at the deli carry this giant spooled-up ladder. Danny says, "I want to help." Sarah tells him okay, and Danny heads over to the cave and starts chucking rocks. Sarah looks at my torn jacket, but doesn't ask about the cut. She's listening to my thoughts about Wendell, another unlucky soul who made the mistake of running into me. He didn't need to die. He was just trying to help me, even after all the awful shit he heard me think about him. "It's going to be okay. It will," Sarah says. "We're getting out of here." Yeah, lucky us. All Wendell wanted was for me to help his sister, Becky. He gave up his life because I promised him I would. "Joe, you need to let it go. We only have 10 minutes to get out of here. The girl will be fine." No. Once we're gone, the people left behind will never be safe. They'll lock it down and turn it into a zoo. Carlos and the guy from the deli set down the spooled-up ladder. I walk over. Carlos looks up and says, "Joe." I don't have time for him. I say to the other guy, "Do you know Becky, Wendell's sister? She works with you, I think." He says he does. Feels like shit about it. The girl's only 16. She has no one left. "Do you know where she is? Where I can find her?" "She was at the deli earlier, but there's a curfew now. Might be at home. Lodge 2, I think. Yeah, 2nd floor." I nod and turn back. Sarah's right there. Joe, come on. Let's just go help Danny, okay? Sarah takes my arm, but I'm not going with her. I'm looking for the shotgun. Are you crazy? If you go back there with a gun, they'll kill you. Sarah's right. I have to go unarmed. One shotgun isn't going to stop every boot. It's only going to draw them in. Joe, please don't do this. I look at the cave. They're only halfway done with the rocks. I'm already backing down the hill. Sarah begs me to stay. I tell her, I'll be back in time. I promise. Yeah? And if you're not? Then leave, and don't look back. Sarah is still yelling as I take off into the woods. I'm running down the hill. Trees fly by. I jump over a log, dodge holes, angle left at my carvings. I pump my arms as fast as they go. The pond is less than 20 yards away. My left foot slides out from beneath me and gets caught on something in the snow, my ankle cracking. It's not broken, but it's definitely sprained. I don't have long before it swells. I put most of the pressure on my right leg but keep moving. My left foot barely touches the ground as I head towards the square.